everyone. Need to change my background here. 1 second. Yeah. Can you all hear me okay, masters? Anyone can?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
All right. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. So, like every week, right, we are talking about one or the other topic about meditation. So last week we spoke at length on the doshas, right? What are the doshas? What are the things that are really making us suffer in our daily lives? And how do we make sure that we are not getting into this trap of I have this, I don't have this kind of thing, right? So it actually goes into the basic understanding as to how we start to look at things. The fundamental mistake or fundamental understanding what we have on the overall meditation, spirituality in general, and our ability to grasp it, to make it our life's vision or mission is the very critical thing. Now, in the PSSM society, we talk about multiple different aspects of it. One of the key aspects that we talk about is not just knowing, you have to practice it. Knowing is only 0.1% of what you understand. Doing and becoming that is the 99.9%. So it is very, very critical that we all understand and start to look at it in a very, very methodical way. Where we fall short in a typical scenario, right? A lot of us do our own penance or sadhana at our own pace, at our own will, at our own beliefs, with our own understanding of the knowledge, right? There are 4 aspects to it. We do it at our pace. We do it based on our beliefs, because beliefs make a major criteria. And then followed by what I understood as a knowledge. And then how do you make it happen, right? So if we start to collate the information that we are getting from different sources and try to unpeel it and then look at the way we look at it, we are lost. All of us are lost, right? In our own thinking, in our own way of doing it, in our own way of believing it, in our own way of sadhana. The reason is everyone's experience is pretty unique. I'm not, if 2 individuals are sitting in meditation, they are not getting a similar experience. They are getting unique experience. Their lives are different. Their way of thinking is different. Their way of doing is different. Their way of the belief system that they were born with is totally different. And cultural aspects are also indeed totally changed. So with all those aspects, how am I to look at myself and understand that what I am learning is the right thing, and what I am doing or what I'm experiencing is the way of living? So this is where the society, even in the PSSM society, like Patriji, if you go back in 90s and early part of his journey, 80s, he was always emphasizing the fact of being, not knowing. Knowing is only small aspect of it. He was always pushing for us to experiment it. There are 2 distinct qualities that you see in PSSM society that you don't often see outside. One of the key factor is you have absolute free will to do whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn. You are not restricted to one kind of knowledge. You can go look at scriptures. You can go look at Western masters, New Age energy. You can look at masters, Esther masters, who were actually, back in ancient time, the Rishis, Maharshis, and all that. You can also go into Bhagavad Gita. You can also look at Upanishads, which is like the Vedas and all that. You also can come into the latest and greatest what a pyramid master have experienced in last 1 year or 6 months, who have written, right? So the knowledge is infinite, and that knowledge is available to us at our own will, at our own pace. That's the beauty, number 1. Number 2, You are not to take any knowledge as it comes to you. You are actually encouraged in this society to experiment on your own, understand the knowledge and experiment on your own, trying to see whether that is the case or you have a different flavor to it. Sometimes it so happens that you sit in meditation, you go in a deeper level, you probably are experiencing an astral projection or astral travel, while the other individual in the deeper level is experiencing a trance or a blissful state or in the void state. It is very natural that, so when you are trying to write the experience, you have a different view and a way of looking at it. The same discipline meditation that we talk about here, the anapanasati or the breath meditation, which was called by Buddha, by Sri Krishna, Patanjali, everyone, that is what we are doing here. How am I doing it differently? Why am I not getting the experiences? It is because of these three things: the belief system, the type of sadhana, the kind of sadhana that you are doing, you're taking up on daily basis, and then the knowledge that you have acquired to understand that. These three are the fundamentals, right? So if I really look at it, what is my belief system? So belief system is not something that you are carrying in this life, because whatever you have accumulated in your mind over centuries, over your lifetimes, is what makes the belief system. The triggering point is this lifetime for sure, because you are born in a particular sect of a family. Your family has certain rules and regulations as to how the culture, the nature, the way you are brought up, the way the family kind of lives in the environment, the country that you live in, the religion that you belong to. There were like so many belief systems that you carry forward, and over a period of time, that belief system becomes a burden. Unless you take this belief system and start to question or go back to the root of it, you are not to know about the truth. You will always get shivered, right? What happens is my belief systems are coming, I have a belief system. Through my belief system, I have certain set of thoughts. Through my thoughts, I have words. I talk about it because it's all happening here. Whatever I'm thinking, I'm going to talk about it. When I talk about it, it comes as actions. Over a period of time, the whatever I'm talking, those things will start to take an action. And the actions become habits. Habits slowly become the values of me. Once I'm getting used to, like, for example, I get used to getting up at 4 a.m. and then I start doing meditation every day. Then what happens over a period of time, this getting up early at 4 a.m. and sitting in meditation becomes a routine, right? Subconsciously, my mind is tuned to be able to knock me up at 4 a.m. and say, hey, sit for meditation. And then you go sit for meditation. But is meditation really happening? Absolutely not. At that point, it has become a mechanical thing. So what happens is that habit becomes my values. What is my values? And your values becomes your destiny. That's the main thing, right? This is what even Mahatma Gandhi talks at length about it. Why your beliefs are to be rooted to the facts, to the truth. If your beliefs are not rooted to the truth, then what happens is you get misguided on your own terms, and you are going on a left path where you are supposed to go on a right path. This is what happens when you are coming into meditation. This is true for any spiritual aspirant. Any aspirant who is looking for spiritual peace, happiness, I don't want any sorrow in my life. I want to be happy. I want to have love. I want to live a normal, contented life, with my family. No, 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 totally ahimsa, with dharma, with righteous living, with, satya sankalpa, all that, whatever we talk about in the ancient scriptures. If I want to get to that, you got to understand the belief system. You have to know your own belief system. What am I believing inside? If you firmly believe that idol worship is the way of living, you firmly believe inside. But then somebody told you that if you do meditation, this is like 5 times or 10 times or 100 times more powerful. You are creating a conflict within yourself. So this is where our society, even Patriji talks about that you have to have the greater understanding. It is a must. It is individuals must. Sajjana Sangatya is a must. So as Swadhyayana is a must. I am just doing sadhana. It is not enough. It is not going to take you to where you want to go. It is going to give you only the temporary relief, temporary happiness, temporary peace. Because you are stuck in your own phobia, right? In your own illusion that you have a belief in one type of life, and you are trying to see this in a different views, like in worshiping an idol, in doing some other japa, maybe some kind of nama japa or something. Then your belief in going into temples and sitting there. Then you have told that you need to do meditation, then you get higher energies, then you go do that. What happens? We are everywhere, but the sadhana and the results is nowhere. Why? Because I don't have the firm understanding, or my belief system is not centered towards my understanding. There are two aspects. So it is very, very essential that each of us spend time to understand what truth is all about. What is truth? If you don't understand that, you are sitting into meditation, you're always getting these energies, it is not going to help you grow further. What is going to happen is the energies that you are getting in your meditation, you're just using it for material gains. That's pretty much it. And if you think that that's the way of living it, so be it. But that has nothing to do with the truth. So we have to start to question the fundamentals as to where we are starting and how we are pursuing our own inner journey. It is essential that each of us take time to sit and reflect upon our inner aspects as to what I believe, what I firmly want to do, what is my understanding in my belief. Am I be able to look at it from a 360-degree view? Will this give me the freedom, the peace, the happiness, what I am looking for? Right? So there are two ways to look at this. One way to look at is, like, we talk about a lot of great grand masters like Patriji, Ramana Maharshi. We talk about Patanjali, all the Maharshis and yogis who are there. Their focus has always been to attain that enlightenment. That is their focus. Okay. In the material world where we are living, with a family, with a society, with the environment where you are living, you have a job, you have kids to feed, you have your parents, you have, like, there is a lot of responsibility that you have. Where is your focus? Is your focus on the mind? Is your focus on the money? Right? Just an example that we have to look at it. If I start to look at it, okay, if my focus is on the money, you will get money. There is no doubt about it. Wherever your mind start to focus, that is what becomes your reality. As you keep thinking, socially it comes to you, right? It's going to come back to you. So some things that all the Maharshis, all the yogis, all the Mahatmas, right, who have lived even at this time of the age, or before us, or coming after us, what is their focus? Their focus is not on the material things. Their focus is on the mind, understanding that mind, trying to really calm the mind to make sure they can get into the greater heights of bliss. But what am I doing? What am I doing as a family member? What am I doing in my life? My focus is always on the money. I am on the run for money. My family is on run for money. I am run for money. Everybody is running for money. So hence, you will never get peace. We cannot have two things come to our life at a time. Always remember this. The first priority that you give to is what will come to your life without any effort, because that is the ultimate focus you have. You have total, dedicated, committed focus on it. The first priority of your life. Rest of it, they will come and go depending upon how much you are willing to put your time into it. So if you want peace, if you are looking for happiness, if you want freedom from sorrows, I don't want absolute freedom from sorrows, right? I want to enjoy that enlightenment. Then your focus has to be on your mind. When you understand this fundamental belief system, that it is only through mind everything else is forming, everything else is coming to you, then you start to put time towards your mind. You will come to moments where you will start to realize and you start to accept that I need to sit and spend time with myself, because it is my mind that is making all this happen to me. We talked about last week the doshas, right? Mala, vikshepana, avarana doshas of mind. We talked about little bit of ishanatraya, why those are pulling you out. And we talked about the tapatrayas, adi bhautika, adi daivika, adhyatmika, why those are really making me suffer, why those are really pulling me out from my natural state. Now, if I start to believe that none of this is right, my mind, let it act the way my mind wants to act. I am not going to take any precedence on it. I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to keep it as it is. And my belief system is always been that I want to go get things. I want to go get anything, right? So what happens in this case? You will always be running around for material things that you are looking outside. There is absolutely no way that you're going to have peace and happiness in life. You may probably get a lot of money. You may be the most wealthiest person in the world, but yet you will not be able to sleep at night. And you will not be able to have happiness in your life because your preference has always been money. Only in sacrifice you will get amrutatva. That's what scriptures say, right? Tyage naike amrutatva manasuku. That's it. There is no other way you can get it. When you have this firm belief on yourself that you are the one, I am the one, I am here to make money, I am here to live my life happy by having money, that very money is going to create so much of misery in our lives. At a later part, we will realize that. And this is what all the scriptures and all the gurus are teaching us. Please don't run for money. When I say money, don't think it's all about money, right? It's about the material desires, what you have. Anything and everything that you are looking to get on the material level is always temporary. It will pass in time. This too shall pass. It is bound to happen. Start to realize the fact how the Esther masters have lived their lives. There may be fundamentally so many differences in their family types, in their nature. Some may be bachelors, some may be sannyasis, some may have, left the families over a period. Some have become yogis, some have stayed in the family in the middle path and attained, salvation or enlightenment. You will find lot of masters with different categories, right? Who you can vouch on and you can study them. You can look at their life and you can really, really understand why they have chosen mind as the factor. The focus has to be mind. If it is not mind, then we are lost. We are lost in desires. We are lost everything. This life itself is lost. There are two things that we should always remember. If I am spiritually, if I, as an individual, as an aspirant of spirituality, if I want to grow from my state to the higher state, I always have to look at a guru, a master who has attained it in the past, right? Because that is my spurti. That is how I get motivated or inspired, by looking at one of the stories of the master who has gone through his toughest times, but yet believed in the truth. Stand to the truth, right? It's a litmus test. So those things will inspire me and motivate me to live in that righteous living on my side. But when I am living materially, we should not compare with anyone in the material growth. We should always compare with the persons who are in the lower level than us, so that You learn to understand and appreciate what you have. Only a person, like if you don't have a slipper, right, you're walking on the road, you don't appreciate it. You will be cursing yourself that you don't have a slipper. But when you see a person who doesn't have a leg, you will start to realize the importance of your leg, right? So whatever the belief system, again, coming back to the fundamental, whatever the belief system that I am carrying in, whatever my understanding towards that belief system, and however my sadhana, my penance is going on, my practice is going on, that is what you will achieve, irrespective of what you think, irrespective of what you do, irrespective of what you talk. The reason for that is your topmost priority in life is that freedom, is that happiness, is that peace. And that is where scriptures have come out. All the masters have come out to talk about this, because we don't understand the importance of our mind. We take our mind granted, right? All of us take our mind granted. I have mala doshas. I don't care about my harshad vargas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, masaryas. I don't feel it. I just use it as abruptly as possible, depending upon situations. I forget it. I would never dare to question my own behavior. Why is that? Anyone would like to answer this? Why is that we don't question our own behavior?
Because we don't observe ourselves.
Okay, there is much deeper. Yes, that's one way. Yes. What else?
There's a beginning level, because we don't observe. That's why we are not questioning ourselves. We are living in the unconscious.
We think whatever we are doing is correct.
What was it, man?
We think whatever we are doing is correct because we don't know the truth.
That's one way. Yes. Ignorance is what you're saying, right? So the real reason why you don't question is because of your self-ego. That's the most reason why you don't introspect. Any of us, the reason why you don't want to challenge yourself in situations is because your ego does not allow you to go back and challenge your own decisions. It requires a lot of discipline and a lot of righteous living for you to ask your own self that, is this the right thing what you are doing? And take a step back in situations where you are not doing the right thing. It requires a lot of courage. So what happens in most cases is, in my life or in any of our lives, when you are sitting, going out and interacting with people, doing whatever, right? There are situations where you abruptly react, right? You like it, you don't like it, whatever maybe those moments or situations, you abruptly react and you make it a point that this is not the way of doing it. At that time, while you are doing it, you will not recognize it. After the fact, 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, or maybe half an hour, or half a day in some cases, or maybe a day later, we start to realize, or we start to repent that I should have not done that. Oops, right? We all kind of went through these moments. The reason for that is the mind has been let go to the outer world, so much of it that it does not know what to expect. There has been never a question that was posed to my mind that my mind will start to stay focused. Number one. Number two, I have never questioned my mind, so my mind is never used to being questioned by anybody. It has the ultimate freedom to do whatever it feels to do, because it's my mind that's running me. I'm not the one running my mind, right? It's the other way around. So what is happening is, because I have this firm belief that in any situation, whatever is the look and feel of it, I am always right. It's either my way or highway. That's my attitude. How many times we accept situations as they come to us? How many times we have a 360-degree view of a situation? Not just looking at from our point of view, but looking at every other's point of view. How many times we have looked at a situation and said that, okay, let me take a step back. Okay, I'm not going to react here, I'm going to respond. This is where the difference comes between the masters who have taught us how to live the life and the way that we are living the life, material versus spiritual. So we all talk about this spirituality as an aspect, right? I talk about, hey, even in our sessions, we talk about a lot of these things where we are saying that, hey, spirituality is something that is materially you are different, spiritually you're different. But if you really look at it, in material, spirituality is grossly. They are both intertwined, interlinked. You cannot differentiate spirituality and material things separately. In your daily lives is where spirituality lies. Your life is the greatest teacher. Everyone's life. My life is my greatest teacher. Your life is your greatest teacher. Why am I not able to learn from it? Why am I not able to look at it? Why am I not able to accept it? It's because of my self-ego and lack of understanding. Ignorance. Sometimes we say ignorance is a bliss, not in the spirituality. And second thing, which is what bothers all of us, is lack of deeper understanding of the subject. We read one book for one subject, like Buddha talked about this Anapanasati, and Patriji talked about Anapanasati. We just hear them talk and we think that we know this. I'm a master. Unless you read a lot of subject on that particular topic, you will not understand the deeper meaning and essence of it. It has to resonate in your DNA, what you are learning. You have to become that. Whatever I'm reading, I have to become that. For me to become that, I have to have a very deeper understanding of the subject. If I don't have the deeper understanding of the subject, it will not stick to me. If it doesn't stick to me, then I'm not practicing that. I will never practice. Same is the case with every one of us. We don't practice. The reason why we know meditation is the way of living. Meditation, the essence of meditation is awareness. With awareness, you get enlightenment. We understand that in meditation, I don't have to be with I should not be with my thoughts. I should be with my breath. We have all that understanding, but why am I not able to practice and get those experiences? Because my understanding is not deep enough. It's not engrossed into me. It's not leveled into my DNA that I firmly believe and sit and do 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, 6 hour, whatever the time meditation that I want to do, I'm not able to do that. This lack of patience, this lack of discipline, the lack of commitment, whatever we call, is the reason why our lives are this way. So there is nobody to blame, is how we should look at it. Right? When you start to do meditation, when you have the deeper understanding, the moment you start to look at a scripture, you start to look at a book that a great master have written it, when you start to read that book, you will understand so many different variations of the subject. You will see so many different flavors of it. You will understand the deeper meaning of it, the essence of it, why we should do it, what it helps, where it kind of manages your own emotions and all that, right? When you kind of connect to that level, and that is when the reality kicks in. Until that time, it's just knowing. And a lot of times you also see that masters come and say, hey, just practice, just practice, just practice. What am I practicing without knowing? What am I doing? It is okay for you to sit and say, just meditate for 10 minutes, meditate for 20 minutes. This is how you do it. All that is fine. But when you want to go deeper, when you want to understand your bodies, when you want to understand your mind, when you are looking for peace, happiness, freedom in this life or next, you got to go deep. You got to have very, very solid understanding. And this is where we all feel. Obviously, right? Because I have read 2 books, my ego raises up, and I say that I have read 2 books. Yeah, I understand it. But we are not allowing the other person to give you the point of view. It may be a totally new point of view. We think, yeah, I got this. When you say you got this, how come it's not in your life? We don't question that. If for any reason, any of us are going and sitting, any satsang, any kind of meditation sessions, any kind of temple, any kind of religious work, any kind of spiritual work, wherever you are doing, whatever you are doing, right? Have this question on your back. If somebody is talking to you about something, if you are saying, I know it, I have heard about it, I have seen it, then the reality is you have become that. Otherwise, just listen. Just listen. Because that is the greatest opportunity for you to accept as a reality and make sure it goes into your DNA so that you can also become that way. This is a very, very important thing for our mind, right? For your mind, for our mind, my mind to calm down. We have to start to firmly believe that when I am saying with my mouth, and I'm using my words, saying that I know about this, I have heard about it, this is no-brainer. Yeah, I have seen it all. Yeah, I've been there. If you have not become that, please do not say that. It is your ego that is making it say that. You have to recognize that it is individual's ego that is making calls at that. And the second thing, where the reason why we are talking some of these salient points is for us to recognize what are our drawbacks. Why am I not able to question my mind, right? Because for us to get into the deeper understanding, your mind has to allow you to go there. You got to start to bring your mind into the neutral phase. Always, if your mind is outwardly, it will keep challenging everything and anything that's coming your way. It will never accept anything. It will just keep pushing, pushing. At that point, you may have the infinite knowledge with you, but you have no experience. And you don't know what to do. You're confused now because you don't know. You have so much knowledge now, but knowledge is of no use without experience, right? So when you start to look back and then start to question your mind or start to balance your discussions, whether it is outwardly or inwardly, you will start to realize slowly that your mind is coming in line. You are able to accept more giving, more taking than talking and keep pushing, right? And the second thing is this acceptance, right? I mean, the greatest gift of humanity is acceptance, right? How much of it we're going to accept in my life, right? Whatever is happening in our life, the truth is it is because of you. How many of us agree to this statement? Not much, right? We don't. Smitaji, you have a question? Or you're just saying yes?
I'm just saying yes. Yeah.
Yes, okay, yeah. So acceptance is the greatest gift for mankind. It is only through acceptance there is infinite learning that comes our way. Everything and anything that is happening in my life is because of me alone. Greatest truth. It is hard to digest it. It is hard to believe because my belief system is totally other way around. My teacher is influencing my marks. My friends are not allowing me to study. I am not doing this because my family is not allowing me to go there. I am not able to get that thing because I don't have, you, either of any of us, right? We will never accept that I don't have enough energies to get that. I haven't done enough sadhana or practice to achieve that. Maybe, I did my best, but I couldn't get it. Nobody will say that. It is always someone else's fault. even to the factor we make it fault of our own, whether it is a mind thing, I don't know, for some reason my mind was not working. Whose mind is this? Someone else or yours? No, my senses were acting a weird these days, so I couldn't focus, I couldn't get it. Whose focus was that? Whose senses were there? It's someone else or yours? So you always try to look at this victim card or excuses that we put it out there, and hence you will never learn from that. It is only through acceptance you are learning things. When I'm saying that I did not pass this exam, the moment we look at it, you find excuses. I was distracted by watching TV. Who asked you to distract yourself to watch TV? My buddies came in, we got to go for lunch and dinner, and relatives were there, friends were there. We got delayed, I couldn't really spend time. Whose fault is that? Is your relative's fault, your friend's fault? These are all excuses that mind always gives us to make you temporarily happy. Now you failed the exam, you have a reason to blame someone else, your mind is happy, you move on. What happens? There is no learning there. Hence, that situation will repeat again. It will repeat itself. That's the truth. So when you start to bring the truth into our lives, we start to slowly realize that it is not outwards that is all impactful. It is all my inside. That is what making my outward such a impactful, right? Such a level of impact it's creating. So the sooner we start to realize this with the greater understanding, that is the reason we have to have the greater understanding. We have to study about our mind. We have to study about soul. Why we are talking about Aham Brahmasmi? What does it mean? Right? Why we talk about the energy centers? What each energy center is all about? Why it is important that as much as you are doing your meditation, also try to do some kind of pranayama. Why is that they were talking about all of these things? Why is that ekagrata? Concentration is the most important. How does concentration help for me to meditate better? Right? When we start to spend time and then unpeel these details one after other, you will start to appreciate the view and the viewpoints of masters and the knowledge that's out there. Right? Only with that deeper understanding, you are able to go into the deeper states of your being. Otherwise, it is all going to be wishy-washy. We may be doing this for next 10 years or 15 years. There will absolutely be no moment where you will have blissful life. You will suffer both internally, externally. And there is also this phobia, right? I mean, I won't say it's phobia, it's a misconception that when I'm doing meditation, all my, oh my God, these thoughts are like crazily coming to me, it's totally not cool. I cannot do this meditation. Meditation is not for me. How many of us have felt it? Right? Most of us probably would have felt it at one point or other that this is not for me. It is because of lack of understanding. Why is that? In meditation, you start to feel pain. When you are outside meditation, you don't feel any pains. But when you are in meditation, why are you feeling pains? What is happening? Why am I not able to sustain those pains? Because of lack of understanding. Why is that I am not able to bring my attention to my breath when I know that that is the only thing that's called meditation? And the most important one, the fundamental difference of meditation is happening. It is not doing. Why is that? I am doing it. I am feeling it. I am always there. I am experiencing it. I've got this experience. I have this vision. I have this travel. I have this vision, third eye, whatever that experience that you're looking at, it's always I. When it is I, that is not meditation. It is your mind playing the trick with you. When do we start to realize all that? Right? That is where this understanding is a critical aspect of it. Without that understanding, going deeper is not going to happen. And that's the reason in our society, experience has to be shared. The reason why I share my experience of my meditation is for everyone else, all the like-minded, all the fellow meditators to know that there is something like this that happens in meditation. If somebody would have not told me that there is something called astral travel, I would have never got astral travel. Somebody would have not told me there is third eye, right? We will never get third eye or visions or anything. We'll just live the life. So when I start to look at things from that understanding with the greater belief system that I have got, right? What happens? Your practice obviously will go deeper. You will not run around anymore. You will start to realize that only through practice you will have the realization. There is no master out there. There is no God out there. There is nobody out there to give you that relief and that enlightenment or that freedom that you are looking for. It is all inside of you. So many masters, grand masters have told us in the past, from the ancient time, even the Vedas talk about it, Vedantas talk all the time about it, and all the great masters who have written books, they have given their wisdom, saying that only through your own work you will realize the God within you. God is within you. Why am I not able to accept that as a fact? It is because of these three things. And now the practice aspect of it, right? If we understand, now I have started questioning my belief system, right? Why is that I have to do this way? Why is that I have to do that way? My parents told me to do this. I'm going to do this, my ancestors have done this from last 6 generations. We're going to continue to follow that. And nobody's questioning the fact as to why that is the case, right? And then when you start to question it, you don't know the answer. So you're lost. You're all more lost. Even the ancestors are better because they have not questioned it. They were able to accept it. They were able to move on. But here, I'm not able to accept the belief system because it looks very silly. On the other hand, I'm not able to go deeper to understand why that belief system even exists, right? What does it mean to me? I don't have time or patience to do that. So I'm conflicted. With the conflict mind, no penance will happen. No peace will come to us. No happiness will come to us. It is all going to be time pass. You are sitting in meditation only for time pass. Because you don't have anything else to do, you're just sitting in meditation. Unless we start to embrace this truth, that if I have to sit in meditation, I need to have thorough knowledge on meditation. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Must. Shravana, you have to know about it. Information you're gathering. Then Manana, that is when you go deeper, understanding of it. You have to spend time to understand it. You have to read different articles about that very subject. Different viewpoints you have to gather. Not from everybody. You have to know who are the great masters who are there. Refer to those books, read and get that subject very detailedly, understand it. What does it mean? What its intent is, right? And the third one, which is where we all fall short, is the practice. Because I have a firm belief of something else, or I don't believe fully on meditation, number one. Number two, I don't have a deeper understanding of it. Hence, my practice will not work for me. I'm sitting, doing, nothing comes out of it. Just time pass. And this is where 90% of all of us are struggling. Only the 10% or 5%, whatever the percentage we can call out, are successful. That's why they are the real masters. We are masters, but we don't know that we are masters. But the real masters are only ones who are actually able to spend time. Every day, we have to take this as priority. There is nothing beyond the fact of peace and happiness for every one of us. If I am able to sleep at night without any worries, that's the best sleep I ever get on Mother Earth. What else is important? Sorrow-free life, freedom. I want absolute freedom in life. What good it is, you have so many luxuries, we have so much of, household things, everything we have materially, but yet mind is crooked, mind is spoiled, mind is cracked. What good it is? So when we start to realize, when we start to unwind ourselves, we have winded so far away from the reality that we are all living in our own false reality. When you try to unwind yourself, wind it back, and then start from the source and say, okay, let's start. What do we do here? Understand what truth is all about. Why is this important? Why is that every master who have attained enlightenment talking about it? What is my belief system talking about it? Have we ever wondered what is your belief system towards what the truth is? Did any of us spend time to understand that? Is it conflicting with the truth? Is it, kind of working with the truth? Or we understand truth only to a certain extent? We don't know the deeper meaning of it? Where do we stand in understanding the truth? Where do we stand in getting the peace and harmony in our lives? So when we start to question at this level, the rudimentary questions, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I here to do? What am I achieve? What should I achieve? What should be my goal of life? Get a good salary, get a good job, get a good family, get a good home, house, car. I mean, is that the goal? So what, right? You got your family, you got your car, you got everything. In 20 years, you have pretty much attained everything the worldly pleasures can give you. Now what? Where do we go? I have everything. What humanly can we get, right? Whatever each of us have got humanly, whatever possible we can get, we have it. But yet, we are not free. Why? Because I am worried. Everything that is inside of me, this crooked mind, right? Inside of me, it's worry. It's not letting me sleep. It's not letting me do my seva, sadhana. It is not letting me do anything what I am looking to do. Where do we start to question this? At what point in life? At 40, at 50, at 60, at 70, at 80, at 90? Well, so when we start to bring and then question to that reality, believe me, we will find answers to ourselves. We don't need anyone to give answers. We ourselves, we know our own mistakes. That's what Osho talks about, right? You are not one embodied person. You're not embodied system. You're looking at physical body here. You're not one. You have 1 lakh versions inside you. You just don't know that you have 1 lakh versions inside you. You have crooked, in some cases, you have anger, you have emotion, different flavor of emotions. You carry different things at different levels. All that is stuck inside you. You just don't know that. It only comes to you when you face the situation. He says, it is such a pity that man walks as if that he's a god. He doesn't even know that he's a dead man walking. Because from his viewpoint as an enlightened master, he says, if you don't know about your mind, you don't know your life. It's as simple as that. Know your mind, know your life, know your purpose. Everything comes from that. So if you don't understand, you are subconsciously twined and triggered to do things on its own. So it is the mind that is doing to you. You just don't know it. You are influenced by the mind. So when you are influenced by the mind, the actions, the words, the thinking, you have no control whatsoever in your life. That's why he says it's pity that there are only few people who are actually the men walking in the world. Rest all are dead men walking, because they just don't know. They live subconsciously. Everything what they believe, what they understand, and what they look upon with the mind, right? That they firmly take it on. They don't want to look at inside. They don't want to understand what is truth. And if you look at Osho's teachings, right, he talks about the belief system is the fundamental issue of everything. The moment you start to have an opinion, you have lost it. We have lost it. The moment I am saying this way or that way, my mind has already acted. I am done. If I am looking at a flower, as a nature, if I am not reacting anything, I'm just enjoying that, the color of the flower, the beauty of the flower, the sunshine, the whatever the size and shape of it and all that, right? I'm just enjoying. It is at that level. There is no judgment. There is absolutely nothing. And that is awareness, pure awareness. If I start to say this color, this flower should have been little smaller, it should have been angled this way, it should have little darker pinkish color, it would have been beautiful, all that is my mind. When you bring your mind, you are dead. Only when we become the heart-centered, we are the living beings, higher living beings. So it is, when you start, it is very interesting. It is, I'm not saying that, we got to embrace all that, but what my point is, when you start to read such statements, right, we never ever heard about things like that, right? When you are looking at sunset, just look at the sunset. Let's just enjoy the bliss of the sunset. That's it. Please don't react. Please don't judge. Please don't say anything. Just in that moment, be with it. Become that. I am that I am. Right? Become that I am that I am. That's all you need to do. But instead, what happens? We take the camera, iPhone, right? I cannot put the iPhone, right? We take this phone, immediately capture the moment. Who is the one capturing the moment? Who is the one using the moment? Who is the one recalling that moment? It's all the mind. You have lost the beauty in that very second. You have lost that bliss. You lost that awareness in that second. You got stuck with your mind where you have captured it on a phone, and then you are going to send it to 100 of them. How does it matter? Enjoy the moment. Be in the moment. That is where the freedom is. So when you start to read some of these masters who have got enlightenment, like, Osho, and then you read some of these aspects of what, Jiddu Krishnamurti, when he talks about what does it mean when you are soul, what does it mean when you are awareness, it's in that state of firm understanding, right? That, hey, I'm not the body, I'm everything, right? That's what he talks about. He talks more about you are already that. So don't come down. Be in that state. Always be in that absolute state. You get such a beautiful perspective that you never probably would have figured it out on your own, right? And that's when it helps us to start to look at it, right? There are a lot of different ways to get enlightened, right? There is inquiry, there is, like false pretension. You kind of, naivety, you can become that. There is like a firm belief that I want to be Nisargadatta Maharaj, who have attained through that process. There is this Osho's way of looking at it. There is meditation, in a yogic way, that where you are with the breath. There is something called vector equilibrium, where between the breaths you are able to focus and increase that, where you are getting into that state of emptiness. You get it. So lot of different ways you can get enlightened. Whatever works for you, you kind of get hold to it, right? Meditation is probably the easiest way to get there. And then, but then if you really look at it, all of those things, if you compare like 6 7 schools of enlightenment, you will see that every one of them talks about this awareness. It is the fundamental that you have to be aware every moment, every situation, everything that is happening in our life. We have to be aware. And for us to be aware, we have to really have the greater understanding. And you have to have lot of meditation. Only with sufficient energies, you are in that aware state. When you are aware, you are not going to make any sins. Right? So when I start to peel back and then start to look at myself, I am running every day, running in my life for 30 years. Where am I getting? What's my goal? Right? When you ask such questions, you will stop. Believe me, your mind will stop. The racing ends at that very moment. The moment you start to question at that rudimentary level, the race ends. Your life will take a standstill. You will start to experience peace. You will start to experience happiness. You will certainly start to feel the bliss, what you're looking for. You will only thank your own self at that point. Until that happens, that moment comes to us, we are in this suffering every day. So it is very, very critical and very, very important that we understand not to take too much of a belief system into consideration. You have your belief system. Question that belief system, whether this belief system is something that is taking you upward or it is taking you downward. Every day, I'm going to sit in front of my idol and do 3 hours of puja. What exactly is happening in that puja? What is happening? I'm sitting in front of the God, I'm reading stotras, I'm doing slokas, I'm doing, whatever the penance and whatever the structural things that your family has given you, you're doing all of that. What is the ultimate outcome of it? Are you doing it sincerely? Is your mind fickle to a point where it is expecting results all the time? Most of the time, if you start to look at, introspect yourself, you will see that every time you go sit in front of the God, we are asking something. It's a transaction. There is no freedom there. There is no acceptance. There is no surrenderness. There is no devotion. There is nothing there. It is a transaction. Very material transaction. I need this. You give me this. I give you that. I'm going to give you 100 coconuts. Give me this. My life should be happy. Give me this. What about others' life? We never question at that level, right? That is where we need to go back to the root and understand what am I doing? In that moment, whenever you are sitting in front of the God, whatever you are doing, that 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 hour, whatever, what exactly am I doing? Where is my mind at? Is my mind with me? Or mind is somewhere else? How can I ensure that my mind is with me? If your mind is with you and you are doing it, believe me, you would have evolved out of it by now. The moment you understand that is, it is at only senses that it is acting. There are two things here in Upadesha Saram, right? Ramana Maharshi talks about it. Pujanam japa chintanam kramat. Right? Pujanam japa. Puja is the first step. Japa is the next. Chintanam kramat. Chintanam means jnanam, right? You're going deeper into the state using your mind and you're doing it. How does it work? He also talks about this, right? From Upasana Margas, which one goes first? Puja is for your body. Talking, words is for japa, right? Mouth, right? Whatever you're doing, vachika is for your japa. And then dhyana is for your manas. So if I want to get my mind in control, then it is only through dhyana you are able to do this. And he also gave like subtle variation into how do I get deeper in my practice, right? He actually gave a very good wisdom, right? In that Ajyadaraya Srotasha Samam Sarala Chintanam Viralataparam. It's a beautiful thing. Arjadaraya. Like the way the water, the river flows continuously, right? Srotasa Samam. The way you have to observe the Dhyeya Padartha. Dhyeya means the one that you're observing, whatever you're observing. That's a beautiful verse he gave, right? How do I do it? I should sit in meditation and I should have that Dhyeya Padartha, which is my breath. It should be continuous, like the way the river is flowing, continuously the water is, there is no break, right? It flows continuously. Like that, if you are able to do Sarala Chintanam Viralataparam, then what happens? You get that bliss, you get that peace, you get that happiness. Whatever you are looking for, you become that. He gave it very beautifully. If you're able to read the Upadesha Saram, you will understand that, right? So when you start to look at some of these aspects, right, what they're talking about, if I want to get my mind in line, because my mind is the one, it is not my talking, right? It is not the vachika, it is not the kayika, it is manasika. Everything is manasika. It starts with that. My primary reality is my mind. The secondary reality is my life. The physically it's happening. So in the primary reality, if I have to bring any control or any sanity or any discipline, then it is dhyana that's going to bring you that. If you are trying to get that through your puja, it is only temporary. Because senses, mind gets feed from senses. When you are able to control your senses, your mind will act calm temporarily, not fully, temporarily. When you do the japa, your words will get controlled. Vachika. When I do my meditation, your mind will calm down. So even if I don't agree the scriptures that was given ancient time, 5,000 years back, the recent time, Ramana Maharshi is like 100 years back, right? He actually gave this formula to say that, you don't have to understand what you want. It is because of the mind, the entire thing is starting. If I have to get to my mind, how do I get to my mind? Through meditation, not by doing anything else. If my goal is to make my mind calm, balanced, centered, through which I can get peace, happiness, freedom, absolutely meditation is the way of living. For all of those reasons, you have to meditate every single day. Every single day. So with the firm understanding, with the belief system that you are questioning on your own, trying to see what is the truth, what is not the truth, where do I draw the line, what is my immediate goal, what is my long-term goal, where am I going in my spiritual journey? A lot of these questions you can answer yourself. You don't need anyone else. When you do that, when you come and join satsangs, when you join Sajjana Sangatyam, Acharya Sangatyam, it gets 1,000 folds. It gets 10,000 folds. because you get to hear a lot of these wisdoms coming from a lot of different masters. You will thoroughly get inspired and motivated to go to that next state of where you are. So always start to bring your attention back to the reality and the moment as to where you are. Whatever you may be doing, it doesn't really matter. If you practice that, if you are able to bring to that state of awareness, then you will achieve wonders. So that's the subject for today. Any questions? I know we spoke at length about a lot of different variations of mind and all that, right? So it's natural to have questions. Please go ahead.
So, putting my mind on God, how is it different from like you always follow the breath, concentrate on breath, right? You said only that is meditation.
Right.
So is putting the mind on God and concentrating not the meditation?
So there are two aspects, madam. Again, it comes back to the understanding, right? How am I seeing the God? Am I seeing the God in the physical form, like the way I am? Am I seeing the God? Or I am seeing the God as the divine oneness? Right? What is my understanding of God? What do I see? I see God as energy. I see God everywhere. Or am I seeing only in that photo or whatever the ideal, like the shape and form, the name and form? What am I
The
seeing?
form of Krishna, for example.
Yeah. So, for example, Krishna. So what happens is my mind gets struck with the name and form. Okay. Now, will that give me the peace? Yes, absolutely. But will that give me the state of enlightenment? Absolutely not. Because you are in the duality where you are seeing yourself different than other. What is scriptures talking about? I am that I am. Right? Whatever I am seeing, that the same energy is there within me. That is the fundamental reality. Right? The truth of truths. If I am not able to see that, then there is no enlightenment for me. But the question is whether I am able to get the peace by having that ideal, the look and feel of it. I'm able to get little bit of happiness. Am I distracted from my things and all? Absolutely. You will get it. Temporarily, you will get it. But that permanent enlightenment, we will not get it. See, always we have to remember, when you are looking at a name and a form, you will always, it means that you are in that duality state, right? I am there, but there is also something else there. As long as you have that something else, there is always a fear. It is because of that fear, you will not get into that state of enlightenment. I should not see anything beyond what I am everywhere. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. That's it. If I am at that state, now you are enlightened. Now,
Okay.
moving this back, bringing it back to the breath. Why breath is not that, right? There is Saguna Brahma, there is Nirguna Brahma, right? Saguna means what we just talked about. As long as I'm looking at that Rupam is what I am attached to, that Rupam will always be there. And who is the one looking at that Rupam? My mind is the one looking at the Rupam. As long as my mind is there, I will never get the bliss. I cannot go beyond the state of mind with my mind being active. It is like you are trying to cross the river without getting wet. You are swimming in the waters, but you don't want to get wet. It is not possible, right? False positive.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when you bring your attention to the breath, now Nirguna Sthiti. Nirguna means breath. Breath is something that you feel it, you don't see it. It's Nirguna, right? It is everywhere. That breath is everywhere, but I don't see it. Now, what is happening in this? The beauty of this is why this works wonders. Is the very breath that you have started to use as a medium will also dissolve in the process. Dhyana, Dhyeya, the result. All three will become one. That's samadhi, right?
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So that is the reason breath is the best way to do it. If I am using any other medium, that medium will always stick out there. As long as that medium is out there, my mind is still active. I cannot go to the state of bliss. It's a good question.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question regarding the farm. If I go and see Krishna at the temple, if I can see myself like relating to that, I am relating to God, please give me, I'm not like out of fear or anything. Please remove the darkness and take me into the right direction. It is not like fear or anything.
So it
I
is.
enter.
So to answer the question, right? I'm going into a temple. I'm worshipping the God that give me all the energies to do the rightful thing. It is absolutely fine to do so, right? The reason for that is you are looking at that energy there, right? It is the energy. At the end of the day, that is the energy, right? See, as like the way you look and feel of the God is where the difference comes. If you see the God who is with a higher energy and who can help you to dissolve, when you have that firm belief, right, that everything is one, it's all part of the divine oneness. The one I am seeing in front of me is also kind of me.
Yes.
If you have that firm belief, then you can be anywhere, you can do anything, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like we want to enjoy different kind of food. We don't want to have like every day eating only sambar rice or every day curd rice.
Exactly.
So one time we want to enjoy the God in the form, the divinity
You
within me. I'm seeing the divinity outside.
Yes.
I'm enjoying sitting the nature and I'm enjoying. One time I'm chanting and I'm enjoying it. One time I'm playing with the kids and I'm enjoying it. So
as long as you have that firm belief within your system that whatever I am doing it's all in the divine oneness, it's all like Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, at that state, at that level, you should be fine. But one thing, it is also a little bit of a cautious, is when you start to bring your mind out by chanting, by doing idols, by doing some of these things, you are giving more power to your mind. The bliss is exactly opposite. If you want the bliss, if you want the enlightenment, then you have to go with no mind state.
how about Purandaradasar? All the Kabir and everybody like pray to Rama.
Through bhakti.
And they have attained the enlightenment.
Correct. Through bhakti. There are two different. So you're mixing, right? Bhakti is a different marga. Jnana is a different marga. Right? Two different things. In the bhakti, what happens is the devotee attains that state where he sees everything has that idol, that individual God, right? In this case, Rama or Krishna, whoever that is, right? They don't see anyone else different than the God divine itself. They see themselves also like that. Sarvatra Saranagati is the bhakti. And that comes to you only at that state. The devotion has to be at the highest state. That is why they got enlightened. So don't take that and then try to compare with Jnana. See, bhakti is the pravritti marga. Jnana is the nivritti marga. You have the greater understanding of the reality in the nivritti marga, where it is the knowledge that is making you to realize the oneness. In the bhakti, you're practicing that oneness step by step. You're attaining that step by step in bhakti. Bhakti is definitely great. It is great. Both are good. Even the Gnani will also have bhakti, madam. Don't think that Gnani is not going to have bhakti. Gnani will absolutely have bhakti also. What is bhakti? Bhakti is Swaswarupanusandhana. Right? Knowing yourself that you are everywhere is bhakti.
Yeah, for the blind person like us, from the childhood, when we go to the school or anything, they just show these forms and then do puja and arati. We got accustomed to that. But in the later stage, we also get introduced to this meditation, the great masters and everything. We also, because we are believing in these idols and this puja, and there is some superpower exists, and that's why we are able to believe that there is exactly these masters or in the form who has come as to take us in the right direction. So those are like a kind of first steps, the baby steps. That's what I believe. I don't know.
So it's not about what you believe, right? It's about what scriptures are talking about. What is the truth? The truth is, in your belief system, you only have half a reality. The reality that you believe is the God is out there, the superpower is out there. But the truth is, you are that superpower as well. You are no different than the superpower what you are searching outside. So what you are searching outside is also inside of you. That's the point. The point is not about for you to go find somewhere else that peace. That peace is within you. You don't need to go anywhere. You just have to sit and go within you. You will find that. That Atma Rama is inside you. You don't have to go find the idol for that. Because of the belief system that we are struck with, that we think that Atma Rama is outside. And that's why this meditation has to be done. Pradhamam Vigraham Puja, Japastotradi Majjamam, Trutiyam Manasam Puja, Soham Puja, Uttamottamam. Why is that? In the Uttara Gita, Sri Krishna talks about this. Pradhamam Vigraham Puja.
Yeah, for the people like in the transition stage, I understand that we are moving to the meditation state and discovering the God is, the Atman is nothing but the Paramatman, both are the same. But the transition period, merging the Atman, merging with the Paramatman.
The transition can only happen when you go inside, not from outside. That's the point. The truth about it is, right, you cannot find that outside. It is inside you. You got to pull, your sakshatkara has to happen to you inside.
Okay.
That inside thing has to come out. That third eye, divine eye has to expand. And through that, you will be able to see the God within you. Know thyself is the reality, right? Is the truth. Okay. So what we are trying to do is, whatever you are trying to talk about, there is a factor to a point where you go. After that, you have to start to realize very quickly that it is not outside. The search is good. The search for God is good. The search for truth is good. The search for enlightenment is good. But the only place where you are finding, this is what Ramana says, right? Only place where you are finding is wrong. You got to find within you. It's not outside you. And that can only come to you when your mind is very, 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 very calm. So at that state is when you start to realize that the divine within you, the divinity, you are not able to accept the divinity within you. That's why you're finding results outside.
Yeah, until we realize that, yes, the divinity is, we can see it through meditation a little bit and there, but we go off the track, the mind comes active and...
You are making it active though. Your actions are making it active. The moment you are saying it, it is active. See, you have to understand, you go to do a puja, you think that my mind is calm. It is not going to be calm. You just gave power to your mind to go outward. Yes. For you to bring it back and sit in meditation, it takes 100 hours. We cannot be creating the mind. So the way you got to look at it is, I cannot make my mind go outwardly all the time. Look at, bhajans, go do this, spiritual work outside, do these pujas all the time, and keep my mind as if that there is a duality exists, there is a superpower out there and all that. With that understanding, I'm coming and sitting in meditation. Meditation is not going to work. Your mind is now 100-fold powerful. You just gave the power to your mind. So
then how come the Paramatman exists? We are Atman. Who is the Paramatman?
That's exactly the point, right? Atman and Paramatman, there are two things, right? You have to first realize that you are Atman. That journey has to happen. When you come to that phase of when you realize that you are Atman, then you will know where Paramatman. First stage is Aham Brahmasmi. Always remember, the first stage is Aham Brahmasmi. Then you need to be given the Bodhaka Vakya, which is called Tattvam Asi, Tattvam Asi. Then you practice that. Then you become the Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, I am Atma Brahma. That's the final state. Buddhahood. That is Paramatma. Culminating with one. Right? So, again, right, you have to come back to the roots to understand what are you believing, what are you doing, and where you are. Because if you are not able to synchronize these three things together, there will be no absolute progress. You will go one step forward, you will take 3 steps backwards. So the belief system, your understanding of the belief system as to how you want to take the truth, and your practice to support that. Very, 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 very important. You cannot be in the Bhakti Marga and then say, I'm going to be doing meditation deeper level. You know, I'm not saying that the Bhakti Marga is different, right? It's not low. Bhakti Marga is the highest state. For everything, it is also easier. Bhakti. For masses, it's easier. But once you get to have a little understanding of the divine energies, little understanding of what it is, whatever the bliss, whatever that communion that a devotee is going through in his pinnacle states is what you are going through in your deeper state in Samadhi. They both are same. That bliss, what he gets in the devotee state, at that pinnacle state, and what you are going in your Samadhi state, they both are same.
I have a question. Bhakti Marga, in the sense, say for like Mother Teresa, she was doing her Bhakti Marga is serving to the society. That is her Bhakti Marga.
That is
For
karma marga.
instance,
It's karma, man. That is not bhakti. That's
okay.
karma. Yeah, karma yoga.
The devotion, you know, the devotion, I thought like it's a passion, the devotion in which she serves the unconditional serving of the society, isn't it? The same thing.
So, no, it is not. Right? So, karma margam allows you to get out of your sins. Right? When you do nishkamya karma, like the way Mother Teresa has done, what it's helping you is to get out of your sins. Your mind is going to be pure. With the pure mind, you are ready to realize the God. That alone will not give you enlightenment. That will make sure all your papas, whatever are going to be the blockages for you to realize the God, all that will be shaved off with that work, spiritual work. Nishkamya karma. You got to do it without any expectations. Somebody is going to come and slap you, you should take it when you're doing spiritual work. That is called nishkamya karma. And you should not expect any results out of anything that you're doing. Whether you are financially supporting it, whether you're putting your bodily time, whether you're doing any kind of service, you should not expect anything out of it. That is karma yoga. Through that, you are letting go all the sins that you have accumulated over the period of time, which will help you to get to the greater heights of realization. In the process of bhakti, a lot of them also do this seva. Through seva, you are getting closer to the enlightenment. Because through seva, all my sins are going away. When my sins are going away, I'm going to get deeper into my meditation. I'm going to get deeper in my devotion. Right? So that's why, you know, it is always required that you do some form of seva. You got to give. Only in give. Tyage naike amrutatva manasu. You have to give.
Okay, thank you, Anilji.
Okay, thank you, madam. Good discussion. So it's about 10 or 11 now. Any other questions? All right, let's do meditation for 40 minutes or so, masters, and then we'll break it off after. Okay? Please take off your glasses, sit very comfortably in your best postures. Let us bring sit comfortably in your best postures. Take off the glasses, please. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. It is such a beautiful thing, that breath. Pranena baddhate manaha, manasa baddhate pranaha. They both are intertwined together, come from the same source. Such a blissful state that we all get into through just by focusing, observing on your breath. Swasa mula idam dhyanam, dhyana mula idam gnanam, gnana mula idam moksha. Only through the knowledge, the wisdom, we get enlightened. Let us work for that highest goal of attainment. Be with your breath, my dear masters. Be with your breath. Let us transcend the world of thoughts into the world of void, to the world of bliss. Feel your breath, inflow and outflow. Let us make the pratyahara happen. Be with your breath. Be with your breath. Be with your breath. Last 1 minute. Last 1 minute, masters. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Please slowly take your hands and put it on your eyes. Whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes and look at your palms. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, masters. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity. Let us all thank the masters, universe, and energies we received today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, anyone would like to share experience or any questions, please go ahead. Right. If no further questions, then we'll end the session for today. And then tomorrow we are actually doing a satsang in one of the master's house here in Virginia. So if you are around, if you are here, please do join us. We will also have Sanjay Kingi, who will be joining us virtually via Zoom to do a live music. He's actually not physically going to come here, but he will be available via Zoom, and then he will play the music. So tomorrow the session is going to be very blissful. We will start at sharp 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And then we'll have wisdom for early 1 hour, 2 hours. For India, it may be a little early, but we'll have the Zoom session available anyways. Right? So if you're around, please do join us. It's a great opportunity. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.